The bee master. You think you've got problems. I'm standing in my backyard trying to have a conversation with a swarm of bees. This guy Bob, who's a beekeeper, helped me to get the bees in the hive, and he told me that I needed to establish myself as the bee master. But I'm not really sure how to do it, so I've resorted to carrying on a full conversation with the bees, trying to establish a relationship. I told him that I got a B on my geology test. Then the wonderful woman from the Feral Cat Foundation came by to get the cat that my crazy neighbor across the street wouldn't let me fix. The cat is back with her 4 kittens. And then somehow I got talked into fostering them for a month. I've got a kid, a swarm of bees, 13 feral cats outside, 4 kittens in the house, and I have a massive crush on a 28-year-old cast member of the show. I'm not feeling like the bee master right now. I started blogging because it was another way that I thought, well, now with the internet, maybe there's more ways that I can be famous. And I didn't know what a blog was, but my friend Kim said, do you know that a lot of people actually have these really popular mommy blogs? And I said, what is a blog and what's a mommy blog? And she explained that people actually blog about their lives and about being a mom. And I thought, well, why would anyone want to read that? I certainly wouldn't want to read a mommy blog. But then I thought, well, who cares? If someone's going to read it, I'll write it. Having ADD sucks. Don't let anyone tell you different. First of all, unlike other learning disabilities, no one takes it seriously. People often think it's just an excuse for fucking up. And then there's the real diss, which is that ADD is characterized as a mental disorder, which does nothing to increase my self-esteem. Then there's the humiliating problems that no one can understand, like why back in the 80s when everyone was wearing shoulder pads, mine was always in the wrong place. They were never on my shoulders, and by midday they were usually midway down my back and headed toward my ass. The thing I worry about most is that time is passing me by and I'm still not famous.
Seeking fame just for seeking fame is going to leave you very unhappy. But if you do what makes you happy and fame comes out of it, so be it.
I'm going to die and I'm not famous. I'm going to be too old to be, I'm going to be like Norma Desmond, Queen of the Silent Film, like ready for my close-up.
The thing about Gina is that she has a good amount of talent, but she's late.
My desire in terms of performing would be to have a show on HBO called The Gina Gold Show, where I wrote episodes with a team of writers, and each week we had a new episode that that had a sort of Curb Your Enthusiasm style to it. Because from what I understand, he just writes an outline, he doesn't actually write a script, and then there's a lot of improvising that goes on. So, and I love that show. So I would have a Curb Your Enthusiasm style Gina Gold show. I would like to have the Gina Gold show representing the 99% that you don't really see on TV enough. I love Lucy. I think she is amazing. I think she's her physical comedy, the fact that she doesn't care what she looks like at a time where women were supposed to be beautiful and glamorous and, you know, not get their hair wet, and she was willing to stick her finger in a light socket to get a laugh and do the kind of physical comedy that usually men would do because it was, you know, it didn't matter if they looked goofy. So I love her for that. I love that she was 40 when the first episode aired, and that, you know, showing that a middle-aged woman can just be quirky and silly and crazy like a little kid. She has a kid-like spirit, so I just love her.
The biggest manifester I've ever seen in my life. Like, if she wants something, she just will keep thinking it or just talking about it, and it will happen.
Here's the thing. So you have to roll with Dan. If he changes the line, then you change the line.
Okay, gotcha.
But make it have punch, so it can't be. So lines lose punch. I don't care what it is that you say, but lines lose punch when they're too long. So if you're like, well, you're crazy because I saw you last week on the corner of 53rd and Telegraph, and you were wearing, that's too much information. So it's got and then Africa. I create characters and tell stories. The last character that I created was a slam poet, and the name of my poem was "Occupy My Vagina."
Occupy my mind, occupy my spirit, occupy my life. Walking around like a runaway slave, I feel occupied by chains. I feel occupied by time, occupied by space. They foreclose on my house as they occupy my bank, but they can never occupy my vagina. And now Ariel heard me say occupy my vagina. She heard that. Now, vagina's not a bad word. It's just like that's what makes me bitter and resentful. That I said vagina in front of my kid. I'm a bad person. I'm a bad mom. I'm bitter and resentful because it's constant battle every day where I just am like, I am not cut out for this shit at all.
Like I said, lazy.
I'm so afraid she's gonna see this if I talk too bad about her.
I hope you say at least one lotto.
Mom, you know I don't play lotto.
Well, you should. It's $500,000.
That's ridiculous.
$100 million.
It's not a viable way to make income.
If you have $1 and somebody that lined up in California, they said, by the droves, go get in line.
Ma,
Bye.
Ma, have you ever won $100 million?
One of the most creative things she's come up with recently is the alter egos that are conversing on the blog. It makes me laugh in 3 different ways. One, knowing it's the same person writing it, and that it's the same person actually having these different alter egos.
Why do I have to take geology? What is a topographic map? And I don't know why glaciers formed on the mountains between Europe and Asia. I don't know why the elevation of the mountain changed from 30,000 feet to 7,000 feet over a period of 300 million years. I don't know why it's wet at 60 degrees latitude. Just leave me the fuck alone. Just leave me the fuck alone. I'm not cut out for this. I'm sorry, but is there a reason why I can't have my own birthday, or do I always have to share it with my daughter? That totally reminds me of Mother's Day last year. My daughter woke up and was nice to me for 20 minutes before she said, "It isn't fair that it's Mother's Day for so long. Is it my day yet?" It had only been 20 minutes. Can I have a day that's all about me for a change? I guess I shouldn't complain though, because for 20 minutes I was a star. The only thing that I can really offer you is my bitterness and resentment, because at least I'm keeping it real, and then you might be able to get in touch with your own bitterness and resentment.